Welcome to part 3 of our live training session here with the Mitsubishi Evolution 8. In our last video, we got our engine fired up and running. We have the part throttle dialed in. We just started to do our full throttle tuning. This video, we're going to be focusing on turning up the boost using our boost control built into the software. We're also going to be learning how to tune and calibrate our fuel and spark timing. There is a lot of things to cover here when doing a high power, wide open throttle tuning on a Mitsubishi Evo 8. So let's jump in so we can learn everything we need to in order to repeat it on your own vehicle. Welcome back to our live training session here with our Evo 8. In the last video, we learned how to get our engine fired up and running, sorting out our idle control, part throttle, and everything that goes along with that. At the very end of the video, we did a few boost pulls, so we were just going off the wastegate spring and starting to turn up the boost. Now, we left off just doing some basic fuel tuning. We need to go and start to sort out our spark timing and our boost control. We left that for this specific tutorial here so we can go through the calibration process. We are an ethanol fuel, so it leaves a very large window to add spark timing in to gain additional power. We need to sort that out as we're doing the calibration process. Now, we did go and alter in the last video. We raised our knock multipliers up by about 20%. This does have cams, this is a built motor, it is very noisy, so the knock sensor isn't going to be super accurate. We needed to raise those thresholds up because we were getting false knock. Now, we also went in, we started to do some basic fuel tuning in that last video. We were looking at our AFR error. AFR error is a channel that we've created in our Megalog viewer. It looks at our target air fuel that we're placing in our open loop high octane target air fuel table. It also compares it against our wideband. So the difference between our wideband reading and our target air fuel is what we're focusing on that AFR error channel that we've created mathematically. And then we can use that to guide us in making our changes into our VE table. We already applied some of those changes. Let's go through a data log, the last data log, in fact, from that last dyno pool, and review it and just see if we have some more additional things we want to go and alter before we start to make another pool here in this video. So we started off the process. We're going to start to continue on with the process in this video. Let's jump in here to our Megalog viewer. I have that very last data log open. Let's go grab some channels here. So I have engine RPM. We're going to type in O for Omni boost, and we're going to go here to Omni 4-bar. And we can actually do PSI based boost just to kind of see what this is looking like in PSI. We're going to type in here A for AFR error. That's going to show us the difference between our actual and the reported amount, so we can see what that's going to be. And then we can also take a look here. If we go into our next lane, we're going to look at our knock data here. So we see our knock ADC, we have our knock base, we have our knock retard, we also have our knock sum, and then the next lane here, we're going to look at our knock voltage. This is all needed to evaluate and review what's going on. So looking at this, we're going to find here that we have no knock sum or no knock counts being reported. That's great. Our knock retard is 0, so we see that's all pretty much looks good. Our knock voltage, this is what's coming in from the knock sensor. It's nice and flat, signifying that we don't have any knock events. Now we do have low spark timing, so let's overlay that in our channel here in our graph 3. We're going to type in here T for timing and go here to timing advanced. We're going to be taking a look at what our timing went to. So our boost was jumping up here off the wastegate spring about 22, 23 pounds. It was about 1 degree of timing right there, so very, very low spark timing. And then as we go up here, we see the spark timing did ramp up to about 9 degrees. Now we can run a lot more spark timing. We're going to start to advance some of that in here as we make our changes and evaluate what's going to happen. Looking here, let's look at some other variables here. Let's type in I for injector duty cycle. So we find right here, let's look at the injectors, where they're at. Now they're showing here 104.5 73% duty cycle, which is definitely not right. Now the air fuel is still relatively rich here, and we're way out on spark timing. So we're going to sort that out. We did make some fuel changes in that very last video when we were going through and doing our calibration process. So we're going to probably make some spark timing changes in the beginning of this video here and kind of get some of that sorted out. Let's look at some other things that might be of interest here. So if we're looking down our list, we look down here towards the very bottom, we should find here that we have our MAF air temp scaled. We can see the air temperature at the top of that pool. That was hitting about 86 degrees. We see here it's starting off in the 70s. It's right in the 70 degree range right now in my dyno bay. So it's a relatively cool day right now. So that's matching our ambient temperature. Moving down here maybe a little bit more. If we're looking down here, we can see what's going on with our wastegate duty cycle. Now we can see the wastegate duty cycle is showing 0% wastegate duty cycle because we have it disabled. So we've turned it off. We're just doing the calibration process off the wastegate springs to get that sorted out. Now a few things I want to point out here. One, obviously the injector duty cycle being this high, that is not going to be good. We've leaned it out. We'll have to evaluate that and look and see what that looks like once we start the calibration process off. Now looking at our boost here, we do see it goes from roughly 24 pounds of boost and it creeps up here to roughly 31, 32 pounds of boost. That could potentially be an issue as far as our boost control goes, because if we have boost creep, it's a little bit harder to control the boost. Now, one thing I want to point out is that our spark timing is really low. We see here the spark timing is as low as 1 degree, and it goes here as high as 9 degrees. Now this is a built motor, it's lower compression, it's actually about 9 to 1 compression if I remember correctly, so it's not a 10. Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.